Café racers were built for style, rebellion, and quick blasts between coffee shops. But here's the twist. Some of these machines are so fast, they'll give modern superbikes a run for their money. And after digging through countless reviews, archives, and speed records, we found 10 Café racers that completely redefined what fast really means. In the next 10 minutes, we're counting down the fastest Café racers of all time, and trust me, number 1 will blow your mind. Number 10, Kawasaki W800 Café, 110 miles per hour. Let's start off with the Kawasaki W800 Café, a love letter to the past, inspired by the golden era of British motorcycles from the 1960s. This bike is Kawasaki's attempt to bottle nostalgia and mix it with just enough modern engineering. Powering the W800 Café is a 773cc air-cooled parallel twin. On paper, its 48 horsepower and 110 miles per hour top speed may seem modest, but that's missing the point. With torque peaking low in the rev range, it delivers smooth, predictable power ideal for relaxed rides or spirited backroad cruising. Its chassis stays true to vintage simplicity, a steel double cradle frame, twin rear shocks, and telescopic forks. At 224 kilograms, it's heavier than some rivals, but its stability and comfort more than make up for it. Kawasaki cleverly adds modern touches where it counts. ABS-equipped disc brakes, fuel injection for reliability, and even an LED headlight hidden in a retro housing. With a 15-liter tank and efficient fueling, it's practical enough for weekend getaways. And thanks to Kawasaki's reputation for bulletproof engineering, it offers the charm of a classic bike without the headaches of owning one. Number 9. Norton Commando 961CR, 120 miles per hour. Next up, the Norton Commando 961CR is firmly rooted in the past, but in the best way possible. Norton is a name soaked in motorcycle history, from winning the very first Isle of Man TT in 1907 to the Commando being an icon in the late 60s. This brand practically wrote chapters of Café racer lore. The 961CR, which stands for Café Racer, is Norton's attempt to keep that heritage alive, and it does so with a level of craftsmanship few modern bikes can match. Hand-built in Britain, it's packed with top-tier components: Olin suspension, Brembo brakes, billet aluminum clip-ons, and a hand-welded frame. The heart of the machine is the 961cc air-cooled parallel twin. On paper, it's 77 horsepower and 81 Nm of torque, and it might seem modest compared to today's fire breathers, but this bike isn't about numbers. It's about feel. With a 1400mm wheelbase, fully adjustable suspension, and premium stoppers, it handles with confidence while still giving you that vintage edge. Top speed sits at around 120 miles per hour, which is more than enough for a bike focused on character over outright speed. But here's the twist. Even though the 961 looks old school, it's not just a relic from the past. Norton actually brought it back in the 2000s, building each one by hand in England. That means every bike feels almost custom-made. What surprises a lot of people is that you can still walk into a showroom and buy a brand new Commando, classic 960 sole on the outside, but with modern upgrades like Olin suspension underneath. At 17,499 pounds, the 961CR sits in premium territory, but you're buying heritage and exclusivity, and for purists, that's priceless. Number 8. Ducati Scrambler Café Racer, 125 miles per hour. On the opposite end of the spectrum sits the Ducati Scrambler Café Racer, a bike that proves you don't need crazy horsepower or exotic price tags to capture the Café Racer spirit. Produced from 2017 to 2019, this model took Ducati's playful Scrambler platform and dressed it up with retro racing style, creating something that's as approachable as it is cool. Ducati nailed the styling touches: clip-on handlebars, bar end mirrors, spoked wheels, a small bikini fairing, and a single seat setup with a little cowl at the back. Under the skin is Ducati's familiar 803cc air-cooled L-twin, producing 73 horsepower and 67 Nm of torque. On paper, that may not sound extreme, but paired with a light 190 kg chassis, it's lively, responsive, and a joy to flick around city streets or tight back roads. Top speed sits around 125 miles per hour, but the real magic is in how playful and agile it feels in everyday riding. Ducati also gave it a sharper edge compared to other Scramblers. The geometry was tuned for sportier handling. Sticky Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 tires came as standard, and dual-channel ABS provided confidence under braking. The result was a bike that feels light and sporty but still easy to live with. Comfort was another win. The ergonomics are sporty without being extreme, making it usable for commuting during the week and fun blasts on weekends. With a 13.5-liter tank and good fuel efficiency, it's practical enough for longer trips too. Priced at around $12,000 in the US, the Scrambler Café Racer was one of the more affordable ways to own a stylish Italian machine. Now discontinued, it's already becoming a modern classic, loved for being approachable, fun, and unmistakably Ducati. Number 7. Suzuki SV 650X, 130 miles per hour. The Suzuki SV 650X is proof that you don't need deep pockets to enjoy an authentic cafe racer vibe. Built on the tried and tested SV 650 platform, this bike blends everyday usability with retro-inspired charm. At its core lies the same 645cc liquid-cooled V-twin engine that's been winning fans for years. It makes around 76 horsepower, which may not sound earth-shattering, but its delivery is what makes it special. Unlike high-revving inline fours, this V-twin offers a strong mid-range punch, giving you instant drive where you need it most. It feels eager yet manageable, equally happy cruising through town or charging down a winding road. Flat out, it can reach about 130 miles per hour, plenty for real-world fun. The handling is where the SV650X shines, weighing just under 200 kg and built around a trellis frame. It's light and confidence-inspiring. Suspension is simple but well-judged, striking a balance between comfort for commuting and firmness for spirited weekend rides. Suzuki gave the X unique styling touches too: clip-on bars, a cafe-style seat, retro-inspired nose cowl, and spoked-look wheels, which set it apart from the standard SV. Modern practicality hasn't been forgotten. You get ABS, fuel injection, a clear digital display, and superb fuel economy up to 82 miles per gallon with a 14.5-liter tank. It'll cover serious miles before stopping for fuel. Add in low running costs and bulletproof reliability, and the SV650X is one of the most sensible cafe racers out there. Affordable, stylish, and fun, it's a bike that feels as good to ride as it looks parked outside a cafe. Number 6. The Husqvarna Vitpilen 701, 130 plus miles per hour. But the Husqvarna Vitpilen 701 is the complete opposite. It's a cafe racer straight out of the future. The name translates to white arrow in Swedish, and true to that name, this bike looks like something fired straight off a designer's sketchpad. It's sharp, minimalist, and unlike anything else on the road. Powering this radical-looking bike is a 693cc single-cylinder engine borrowed from KTM, but tuned with Husqvarna's own flavor. Don't let the single fool you. This motor is a beast. It makes 75 horsepower and 72 Nm of torque, which doesn't sound like much compared to big twins or inline fours, but remember, the bike weighs only 158 kilograms dry. That gives it an incredible power-to-weight ratio, making it feel way faster than the numbers suggest. Twist the torque and you'll hit 60 miles per hour in about 3.6 seconds, and the top speed is well over 130 miles per hour. Not bad for a thumper, right? The chassis is equally high-end. A lightweight steel frame, fully adjustable WP suspension, and Brembo brakes make it handle like a scalpel. The ride-by-wire throttle and traction control keep things civilized when you're pushing hard, and the anti-wheelie system helps you put power down without drama. Yet despite all this tech, the bike still feels raw and connected, giving you that man and machine vibe cafe racers are supposed to deliver. With premium touches like CNC machined foot pegs, spoked wheels, and stainless exhaust, and paintwork that looks straight out of a design studio, the Vitpilen 701 feels as special as it looks. Sure, the fuel tank is on the smaller side at 12 liters, but that just means more frequent excuses to stop, stretch, and admire the bike. Number 5. Triumph Thruxton RS, 135 miles per hour. If the Vitpilen is all about adventure, then the Triumph Thruxton RS is about pure soul. Few names carry as much weight in cafe racer culture as Thruxton. Back in the late 60s, Triumph machines were the first production bikes to lap the Isle of Man TT at over 100 miles per hour, sparking a movement that would define motorcycling style for decades. The modern Thruxton RS is Triumph's ultimate expression of that heritage. It looks every inch the part. Sculpted tank, clip-ons, single-seat cowl, but underneath the retro styling lies a serious performance machine. At its heart is Triumph's most powerful 1200cc parallel twin, pushing out 103 horsepower and 112 Nm of torque. More importantly, that torque kicks in low, giving an addictive punch every time you twist the throttle. Many see it as a retro poser, but the RS is hiding real track chops. It has Brembo M50 brakes, the same caliper you'd find on superbikes like the Ducati Panigale. Plus, Triumph shaved nearly 15 pounds off compared to the older Thruxton R, which makes it shockingly agile for a gentleman's Café racer. With 135 miles per hour top speed, it's every bit as quick as its German rival. Tech is subtle but present. Riding modes, ABS, traction control, and a tidy twin-dial cluster with a digital insert. It's modern where it counts without losing that vintage vibe. Number 4. BMW R90T Racer, 135 miles per hour. Moving on, when BMW launched the R90T Racer in 2017, they weren't just building another retro-styled bike. They were paying homage to their motorsport heritage. With its white fairing adorned with classic blue and red stripes, clip-ons, and a single-seat cowl, this machine looks like it rolled straight out of a 1970s race paddock. At its core is BMW's signature, the 1,170cc air oil-cooled Boxer twin. It pumps out 108 horsepower and 116 Nm of torque, delivered in that unique, torquey Boxer style. It may not have the headline figures of some rivals, but it's quick, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds, and a top speed of 135 miles per hour put it firmly in modern performance territory. The engineering is classic BMW. Solid, refined, confidence-inspiring. A steel space frame wraps around the Boxer engine with a paralever rear end and monoshock at the back, while telescopic forks keep things simple up front. At 222 kilograms, it isn't feather light, but it's balanced and planted. Add in modern aids like ABS, stability control, and a steering damper, and it feels forgiving even when pushed hard. The riding position is pure Café racer. Low bars, rear set pegs, and that small front fairing pulling you into a tucked stance. It's not the most comfortable for long distances, but it's surprisingly manageable, and that fairing even takes the sting out of high-speed blasts. With an 18-liter tank, decent economy, and BMW build quality, the R90T Racer is more than just a pretty face. It's a thoughtful blend of old-school looks and modern German precision, a machine that celebrates racing heritage while giving you the tools to ride it every day. But if there's one bike that perfectly blends Japanese reliability with retro charm, it's the Kawasaki Z900 RS Café. This bike is a tribute. Kawasaki designed it to pay homage to the legendary Z1, one of the most iconic bikes in their history. But unlike the flashy Sugumi-styled Z900, this one takes a calmer, more classic approach. The round headlight, the swooping fairing, and that flowing tank shape instantly make you think of old-school racers. Add in the retro-inspired paint jobs and ergonomics tuned for comfort, and you've got a bike that oozes nostalgia without being stuck in the past. Underneath that vintage skin, though, sits a very modern heart, a 948cc liquid-cooled inline-4, tuned differently from the Z900. This motor puts out around 110 horsepower and nearly 100 Nm of torque. It's smooth, it's linear, and it's just pure Japanese inline-4 magic. You get usable mid-range punch for everyday riding, but it still screams when you open it up. And yes, this beauty will push past 140 miles per hour, making it a true Café racer with performance to match its style. Handling is another strong point. The trellis frame keeps it light, while adjustable suspension front and rear lets you dial it into your liking. Braking comes courtesy of twin discs up front with strong calipers, and of course, Kawasaki didn't forget modern tech. ABS and traction control with multiple levels keep things safe. The twin analog clocks flanking a small LCD display give you that old meets new feel every time you glance down at the dash. At number 2, Honda CB1000R Neo Sports Café, 150 miles per hour. Now, when most people hear Café Racer, they picture stripped-down classics with clip-ons and raw, no-nonsense looks. Honda decided to flip that idea on its head with the CB1000R Neo Sports Café. And the result is something genuinely fresh, a modern take on a timeless style. The design philosophy is clear. Futuristic minimalism with a nod to tradition. Instead of copying the past, Honda blended sharp lines, a sculpted tank, brushed metal finishes, and that gorgeous single-sided swing arm into something that feels both elegant and aggressive. The LED lighting and digital dash tie in firmly to the present, while the clean stripped-back look channels the Café Racer spirit. Beneath the style is serious performance. The 998cc inline-4 borrowed from Honda's CBR 1000RR Superbike makes 143 horsepower and 104 Nm of torque. That means the CB 1000R isn't just a poser, it's a rocket when you open it up. Paired with modern electronics like throttle-by-wire, riding modes, traction control, and a slipper clutch, the bike can switch personalities, docile in the city, savage on an open stretch of tarmac. Handling lives up to Honda's reputation, fully adjustable, Showa suspension, and that lightweight chassis keeps things sharp and controlled, while ABS-equipped brakes give confidence when you really push. At just over 212 kilograms, it feels planted without being a handful. The top speed is around 150 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest Café-inspired machines on sale. With a price hovering between $12,000 to $15,000, it's not exactly bargain bin, but for what you get, the CB1000R Neo Sports Café earns its place as a true modern classic. Number 1. MV Agusta Dragster 800RR, 165 plus miles per hour. And if most Café Racers are about style and simplicity, the MV Agusta Dragster 800RR is about drama. This is a motorcycle that takes the Café Racer idea, pumps it full of Italian flair, and then turns everything up to 11. It's part sculptor, part superbike, and every inch of it is designed to make jaws drop. MV Agusta has a long racing heritage, dominating Grand Prix in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you feel that DNA baked into the dragster. Inspired partly by Ducati's Diavel, MV didn't copy the formula, they reinvented it. The short tail section, fat 200mm rear tire, sculpted tank, and those triple pipes that look like art installation pieces all scream exotic aggression. Beneath the drama lies a serious machine. Its 798cc inline-3 engine pushes out 140 horsepower at a screaming 12,300 RPM with 87 Nm of torque. Twist the throttle, and the engine sings with a raspy 3-cylinder howl that only MV can pull off. Weighing just 168 kilograms, the dragster's power-to-weight ratio makes it ferociously quick, capable of blasting past 165 miles per hour with ease. And here's a twist. It looks like an Italian fashion statement on two wheels, but hidden in that design is a counter-rotating crankshaft, a technology borrowed from MotoGP. It makes the bike feel unnaturally flickable at high speed. Also, its triple engine has one of the craziest exhaust notes in the world. Some owners say it sounds more like a Ferrari than a motorcycle. This isn't just brute force either. MV loaded it with tech. You get ride-by-wire throttle, quick shifter, 8-stage traction control, Bosch ABS, and even the clever smart clutch system, which lets you ride without touching the clutch if you choose. Add in full adjustable suspension, a trellis frame, and top-spec Brembo brakes, and it's as sharp in the corners as it is in a straight line. Of course, all that exotic engineering and hand-finished detail doesn't come cheap. With a price tag hovering around $22,000 in the US, this machine is a collector's piece, meant as much for admiration as it is for the open road. But then again, the dragster is a rolling Italian art with a license plate. A Café Racer for those who want their bike to be as outrageous as it is fast. So which of these Café Racers would you take for a midnight ride? The raw power of the MV Agusta Dragster 800RR or the retro soul of the Norton Commando? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, if your throttle hand is faster than your Wi-Fi, then smash that subscribe button. Up next, you can either dive into Jay Leno's bike collection, the most expensive motorcycle in the world, or let YouTube surprise you with a ride it thinks you'll love. Your choice, rider.